Welcome, folks, to HomeGrown Radio. And tonight's guest is Dennis Brinson. Oh, yes. Hey, Dennis.
Well,
how are you tonight? Woo! How are you feeling
I'm doing
tonight?
good. You're doing good.
Right on, right on.
No
Well, thank
complaints.
you. Thanks a lot for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
We're broadcasting live from Locals Tavern, and we've got a nice studio audience here with us this evening. Would like to remind y'all that tonight we have $3 imports, and all wine is $3, and we have $4 rum and cokes. So tonight our special guest is Dennis, which we've already established. So Dennis, thanks a lot for coming on. It's a pleasure to have you here. How did you start off in music? Like, how did this happen for you? Because I know that you weren't like some of these other guys that have been playing guitar since you were 3. How did that all happen for you?
Well, I was working in Charlotte, and I was in the IT industry. And one of the guys who worked with me, who's one of my best friends, Dave Shutt, we were at lunch one day, and I said, you know, I'd like to learn how to play the guitar. I think the kids would really enjoy it. And I'm a music lover, you know, and I think I would enjoy it too. And he said, well, I play a little bit of guitar, you know. And we just happened to be eating lunch right beside Sam Ash in Charlotte. And so we walk over there, and he pulled a Fender Strat off the wall and plugged it in and made it look like it was the easiest thing in the world to do. And, you know, $200 later, I'm walking out of there with my, what he called firewood Epiphone guitar, and a couple books, and kind of started from there. And once I decided that I would meet him Fridays after work. We'd stay about an hour every Friday after work, and we'd play. And he would teach me something. And then he'd give me some homework, and I'd come back, and next Friday I would do the same thing. And then when I felt like I was just starting to get a little better and knew that I wanted to really put a lot of time into it, I went ahead and upgraded and got a little bit better guitar. But that was when my youngest daughter was born, Abby, and I was about I guess she was 1, so I was 31 when I started playing guitar. So it's been about 10 years.
That's pretty amazing, because you sound like you've been playing for a lot longer than that. So did you have any formal training, or it was just basically, did you teach yourself a lot of the way, or how'd that go for you?
Yeah, I learned the basics and tried to absorb as much as I could from everybody around me. I've been really fortunate to be around people who played, and Dave has been playing. He was actually in a high school band with Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins. So he really knew what he was doing. And then when I moved to Wilmington 5 years ago, about 5.5 years ago, I guess, I put an ad out on Craigslist that I was just looking to pick around a little bit. And I was fortunate enough to meet Kenny Reeves and Snow Piver and a guy named David Tedder. And at that point, I think that's when my playing went from living room 3-chord songs to really starting to learn the instrument and seeing what you can do with it, and just different phrasings and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it was like, you know, it just opened up a whole new
so as
world.
A beginner, like, when did you start getting up on stage? Like, when did that happen for you?
Well, that's kind of funny. Kenny and I had played, we had played around quite a bit, and we would always go to each other's house. Chris McCaskill was also another person in that group, and we would go around. And each week we would play at somebody else's house. And Kenny and Snow had been playing together for probably the better part of 25 or 30 years. And he was a phenomenal Snow was a phenomenal guitar player. And everybody knows Kenny. He's been on the show, and he's, you know, just awesome in his own way. And so Kenny said, "Hey, Dennis," he goes, "Snow is not going to be able to do a couple of duo gigs with me, and I was wondering if you wanted to do them. And so my first gig was really at the Moose Lodge in Southport, and I was like a deer in the headlights. I didn't know what was going on the whole show. I just remember the drums being so loud I could not even hear myself think. And
so your first experience
was full band.
Full band.
Yeah, yeah. Why not?
What happened to the duo?
Well, then, he went ahead and he had that coming up, so he kind of broke me in there. And then my first gig was at a little bar called Just One More, which used to be in Carolina Beach, and it's not there anymore. But that was the beginning of this, I guess. So. Yeah.
So how many years ago was that you started actually playing out?
I guess it'd be about 2.5 years ago, probably. Two summers ago. So
you would attribute, like, sort of where you've gotten here at this point to, in the beginning, surrounding yourself with very good musicians and pretty much just putting yourself out there, just like getting past. I mean, were you like nervous at all?
Yeah, I was extremely nervous. Yes. Yeah.
But like you pushed through it and got yourself up there. Obviously.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be to this
playing
point.
with Kenny, it was pretty much sink or swim. He would play songs and he would be like, he plays songs that I'd never heard in my life. Probably 50% of them, and he just say, "Follow me," and.
Right.
When you're in front of people and you're trying to make music and keep the party rolling, you either do it or you don't do it. So, fortunately, I did it, and he was very patient with me. I know we went through our ups and downs on that, but and then we got to a point where, Kenny and Bob, wanted to do a project together. I kind of wanted to do my own thing anyway, and it just worked out for both of us. So, but I really, playing with Kenny really helped me a lot, and more so than probably any other experience with playing guitar. And then also going to Real Cafe on Thursday nights and watching Mike O'Donnell play. And I remember looking at Mike going, "Gosh, he is so good. I want to be able to do that." So. Yeah.
So he was an inspiration. So you were
Absolutely.
really lucky to be surrounded by people who were good and who inspired you to sort of get yourself on the
Right.
tracks and just keep moving forward.
Yeah, everybody's been very supportive along the way, including my wife, Joanna.
Hi, Joanna. She's over there.
And,
Yay, Joanna. We love you.
And my kids, for I'm doing this instead of a 9-to-5 thing.
Right.
So.
Right. So do you remember any of those first tunes that you played?
Well, the very first song I ever learned was "Promises" by Eric Clapton. I remember that, and
Woo! Great song.
And I probably can't play it, and I can't remember the words of it now. I typically remember the music, and can't ever remember the lyrics. It's just so many stories. But my early influences, when I was a kid, Mom had shoeboxes of records of 45s and things like that, and I would sit in my room and listen to them, and
what kind of music was that?
Anything from Peter, Paul and Mary, the Beatles, the Eagles, gosh, you name it, she had it.
That's
I mean,
great.
it was even some. It spanned 60s, 70s. Even disco, everything. You name it.
That's
it was
great.
in there.
So she had a real eclectic taste.
She just liked all genres, much like I do. I like about every genre, except probably rap. So.
Right. Okay. Well, that's cool. So you think you might want to play a couple for us?
Yeah.
You in the mood?
I'll play a song from somebody who I really admire as a songwriter. And I listened to the song a million times, but it's Jackson Browne's song.
Okay, great. Right on. So we've got Dennis here. He's going to play a couple for us. Hope you guys enjoy them. Again, we're streaming live from Locals Tavern. This weekend, we've got the M80s playing Friday night, which is July 19th, And we've got Chillin' Dixie playing on the 20th. So here we go with Dennis live.
I believe this is the first song that Jackson Browne, or one of the first songs he wrote. I think he wrote this when he was 16 years old. Well, I've been out walking, and I don't do that much talking these days. These days I sit and think a lot about the things that I forgot to do for you, and all the times I had the chance to. Well, I had a lover. It's so hard to risk another these days. These days. These days I seem to be afraid to live the life that I have made in song. But it's just that I've been losing so long. Well, I keep on moving on. Things are bound to be improving these days. One of these days. These days I sit on cornerstones, count the time in quarter tones to 10. My friend, don't confront me with my failures, I've not forgotten them. All right, thank you. All right.
That's awesome. So let's talk about what you got going on now, because I met you through Thursday night open mics, which has become very popular and sort of your baby. How did you get into all that?
Well, actually, Thursday night open mic was started by Tommy Hutchinson, and Tommy got that ball rolling and really ran a successful open mic here, and I was fortunate enough to be the one he passed the torch to. Many people know that Tommy has cancer, and so he's with his family and whatnot. But it is something that I take a lot of pride in, continuing that, here.
Right.
And I think we get a really great crowd.
You've done a great job with it.
It's just a really it's really helped me a lot as a musician to see all the people play and
right, and not to mention the fact that it's an inspiration for others. I mean, like, a lot of people have come here who might otherwise have not had the opportunity to play out, and it's just very nice to get everybody together, and there's a lot of camaraderie among the musicians, which is it's a wonderful thing because, as you were saying earlier, that's instrumental in getting you guys all out. You know, it gives you like that confidence.
That's right. As a matter of fact, I think Mistocrat, who you'll see play around town, Matt and Christy, I think this is where they got their they met and started playing a little bit together and from the open mic, and now they're out and playing all over town. You can catch them, so that's pretty cool.
That's
and
very,
other
very
people
cool.
too have gone out from here and played. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So some of you guys might not know what this is, but this started with Dennis. Dennis, what is that? Tell us about that.
That's a story I totally made up. Really. But because I would never, go drive down the road with a beer between my legs. So
Never.
But probably a fifth of Jack Daniels
Perhaps.
or something. No. But I played. Mike O'Donnell ran open mic at one point, and I've always kind of written. I think everybody who plays a guitar and starts learning songs at some point tries to write their own song. You know, whether it's just writing music or writing music and lyrics. You know, whatever it may be, but it's a very personal thing, and so I was writing some songs, and then I won this. I wrote that particular song, and then I won this this little CD recording thing at open mic, totally out of random, not because of the song, and so then it kind of put me in a situation where I wanted to make a CD, and I had to write more songs, so. I got to writing, and a couple of them turned out pretty good, and I think I get a pretty good response. But that's one of the Sorry About Your Luck is what SBYL stands for, and I think that's what kind of catapult. I don't know if it did that, but it just kind of took me to the next step, I guess, so to speak.
It's a great song. You think you can play it for us? Yeah. Actually. Could you play us a couple off some of your originals? Because you really do a lot more originals. You do a lot of cover tunes, but you're really getting into your own music, yep. Which is what I'd like to focus on more, because he's an outstanding player and songwriter. So I'd love to hear more of that.
All right. Well, I'll play a couple of those.
Okay, yay. Dennis Brinson playing originals, guys.
Down a mountain, just left a gig, got a beer between my legs, I'm holding a cig, pumping on the brakes, gaining on a car, about 20 feet in front of my truck's brush guard. Stomping and hollering to the radio, and from underneath my hood came a big puff of smoke. Scared and alone on the side of the road with all the coyotes and bears, and Lord only knows. Well, it was cold that night, didn't hang around, stumbled to a bar in the outskirts of town. When I walked in with my guitar in my hand, an old shiner looked at me and said, "You must be the band." Played that joint like it was the Bluebird till they ran out of beer. At least that's what I heard. The barmaid brought me some shine in a cup and whispered in my ear, "Sorry about your luck." cold that night, and I got to thinking, if I keep playing, maybe they'll keep drinking. And I didn't know what the hell to expect till Sandy Kilgore started getting redneck. She danced on a table in front of the stage, and her husband didn't like the look that she gave me when I started playing. Cigarettes and wine and secretly praying I get out of here alive. Play that joint like it was the Bluebird until they ran out of beer. That's what I heard. The barmaid brought me some shine in a cup and whispered in my ear, sorry about your luck. Well, it weren't long after I'd finished that ditty, and I looked over, and Sandy had whipped out her. And I'm just a singer, you know, trying to survive, and he was a miner about 6'5". So I grabbed my guitar and got to my feet, and I tried to figure out the best way in the street. I stomped on his foot, and I had to scoot with Sandy and her husband in hot pursuit. That joint like it was the Bluebird until they ran out of beer. At least that's what I heard. Made it up the road, I jumped in my truck, and when I turned that key, sorry about your luck. All right. Well, thank you. I've switched up a few of my songs. I'm working with Karen Kane on this CD, and she just won the Carolina's Music Award Producer of the Year, which is pretty good. I want to finish it before my rates go up. So some of these may not sound like they do on the album, but that's how I probably originally did them. I'm gonna play a song for you. It's gonna be on the CD. It is a true story for the most part. Where'd you go, Mr. Freeman, when you walked out the door? Left a wife and kids behind you for a cheap thrill from a two-bed hole. You gotta pick yourself up off the floor, feed the rich, starve the poor. America's dream's not what it was before. Mr. Freeman, how'd you do it, Mr. Freeman? Was there $1 million in it for you? You know the bosses, they don't mind now. The accountants turn a blind eye too. Gotta pick yourself up off the floor. Don't feed the rich, starve the poor. America's dream's not what it was before. Mr. Freeman, this ain't the land your daddy built. This ain't the reason he stormed that hill. We've dug a holes too deep to fill. Mr. Freeman, how you now, Mr. Freeman? Drawing lines in the sand. There's angry people all around me. We're standing in a helpless land. We're standing on helpless land. Gotta pick yourself up off the floor. Don't feed the rich, starve the poor. America's dream's not what it was before. Mr. Freeman, all right.
Okay, so we had a request from the online audience to turn up the interview mics a little bit, so I'm hoping that that works out okay. So I love that song. That's one of my favorite songs that you sing. So what's that about? Like, how'd you come up with that? Because it's pretty powerful.
Wow, I don't know.
No, seriously, it is. I mean, it tells a good story.
My songs are fairly simple, as far as, and I like to keep them like that. Mr. Freeman, to me, just is basically an American, you know, or you know, we're supposed to be in a free country, you know, so there's your Mr. Freeman right there. And the three examples of the three verses basically is just about morality, I guess, and some of the things that are kind of wrong with this country.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it sounds like it's like a commentary of our times, is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, and I don't know why I felt compelled to write it or anything, really. I just wanted to, it just came to me. When I drive I go to Charlotte a lot, and on 74, on the way there, there's the Freeman Cemetery on the right, and I think that's probably where I originally thought of it, and then made a song about it.
So the songwriting process for you, is it something that sort of hits you in the middle of the night, or is it something that sort of evolves for you?
Both.
Both?
Yeah. Sometimes I can write a song in 5, 10, 15 minutes, and sometimes it'll take me, you know, like I have stuff that you know, I just cannot figure out how to put it to music and paper right, and I think it depends too. I don't write a lot of personal stuff, so it's mainly so I guess that would make a difference. I think maybe you know, I'm not trying to show some insight to you know, to Dennis.
Yeah, but when you look at Mr. Freeman, I actually think there's a lot of sort of insight into how you're viewing our situation right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a little preachy, I guess, you know.
A little, but you know, but you're saying something. That's the point. That's what it's about. You know, it's like you're expressing something that you believe in, and that's okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's more of an observation and that. I got a song called "Call You Friend" that talks about growing up in a small town kind of thing, and which that can be a little preached to, I guess. But I don't know. You know, I'm still kind of new to the songwriting. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I hope one day to be able to write songs like Towns and Steve Earle and I mean, whether they get anywhere further than my living room or my, you know, computer screen, I whatever. But it'd be nice to be able to write that kind of music, you know. Right.
Well, I mean, I certainly enjoy it. So you're riding on your way to Charlotte. So you have a full-time job, plus you're playing music. Is that what's going on with you?
I really don't have a full-time job.
Oh, okay.
I rent. I own this little company called Cape Fear Mobility, and we rent scooters and wheelchairs. And so if somebody needs a scooter for a weekend or a wheelchair or something like that, or if they're in town, or if they need to, if they got an accident or something happens, they need some kind of, they have a mobility need.
Right.
Then I have scooters and wheelchairs that I can rent them on a short or long-term basis.
But so you've got that going. You got the music thing going. You've got a family. How's that all that balance out? I mean, how does the music fit into? I
learned how to juggle
all that
on a baseball field. You know, 3 baseballs in my hand, and that's pretty much what happens. And I think life is about balance, and I think, and I know I put a lot of stock into music. I mean, I spend a lot of time doing it. Luckily, my wife enjoys it, and also learns how to play, and is learning how to play, and everything, and so we sit in the garage sometimes and jam out together, you know. But I don't know. It's just. I mean, I'm really passionate about it, so
yeah.
It's
I mean,
one of
it's
those
hard.
things.
It's hard. That's a hard thing for people to be able to find, because playing music sometimes can be quite hectic. You know, I mean, you're running around getting to gigs, and plus, you know, you've got children, you've got a wife, so there's a lot to do. There's a lot to deal with, and I think that becomes an issue for some people.
You can let it probably take you over, and I don't want to let it take. I can't focus 100% on it,
right?
You know, but I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how. I don't know that I always juggle it perfectly. You know, I mean, I don't. But I spend a lot more time in music than I probably should other parts of my life. But
well, it's probably a two-way street too, where like you have to have someone who's into what you're doing too, right? And is supportive of what you're doing.
Oh yeah, my kids, they absolutely can't stand anything I play and sing. So, you know. But they're like, "Oh, Dad's got the guitar. Okay, we're going upstairs." But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, my family's very supportive. My brother plays. He was just in town this past weekend, and we played. You know, and he's been playing longer than I have, and he's a good singer, and you know, I don't know. I mean, it's become such a part of me. Like, you know, I think that that going through life, I think it's okay to reinvent yourself and do these different things every so many years or whatever, and so, you know, I've done a few different things, and now I'm kind of, I was fortunate enough to be able to try to do the music thing, and so I'm running with a little bit. I mean, I don't want to be, you know, and that's trying to sound like God ever would, but I mean, I'm not trying to do anything other than just play and just make good music, you know.
So where do you see yourself going? Like, where do you see yourself in a few years from
now? Tomorrow night I'll be here. So
right here, open mic Thursdays,
this
8
weekend. Yep, this weekend I'll be at home with you know, Joe and the kids, and next weekend I'll be at Shell. I mean, that's where I see myself going. I don't, you know. So
you don't look past the end of the week?
Well, I do look past the end of the week, but not as far as music goes. No, I'm trying to finish this CD up. I'm fortunate enough. I was really fortunate to work with Karen Kane. I was extremely fortunate to have a rhythm section of Troy Pierce and Taylor Lee on my CD coming up, and Frankie Marie is featured as a lead guitar player on it, and Kyle, who's been here, Kyle Lindley. I'm going to get him to do some harp, and Roy Richardson, who was with the Charlie Daniels Band, he's going to play some fiddle on some songs for me. So, you know, the key is to be the least talented person on your CD, you know.
Yeah, but you're ending up playing some lead, aren't you, on that CD? I think we talked about that.
Yeah, I'm going to play a little. I'm going to give it a shot. And Tommy Hutchinson's also featured on bass on one of my songs on that CD.
Nice.
So, you know, and it'd be nice if I could get maybe Dave to do a lead part on it. I don't know. I take it seriously, but I want to have fun with it, and I want to share my experience, and I don't know. I just think it's this is more of a bucket list thing than anything I expect to make any money off of. So,
Right.
Although it's cost me a pretty good penny, but you know.
Yes, Joanna sits there and snickers. I heard that.
Yeah. So
That's awesome. So
learned a lot. I've learned as much as you learn playing with people like Kenny and Snow and Dave Tedder and Chris and these awesome people I get to play with on Thursday nights here, and all these folks I've crossed with, and I play with Kyle now, and we do duo stuff together. And as much as you learn doing the live thing like that, the studio part is a completely different animal.
Oh, yeah.
And you really learn other parts of it. And I didn't really show it there playing those songs because I haven't played them, and I've been running around today, and I don't know why, but I just cannot half time remember lyrics. I feel like I'm just full of information sometimes, and other times I'm not. And that happened to be one of those times, but it's just a completely different animal, and it's just very different from a music standpoint. I'm starting to hear layers of music now, and just different things like that. So
when do you think your CD is going to be ready?
hopefully the end of next month.
The end of next month. Okay, great. Great.
So,
And where will that be available?
well, I'm going to try to put it on iTunes, and I don't know why, but I'm going to do that.
No, it's a great way to sell
Maybe
it.
somebody will hear something and like it and download it. I don't know.
And where
outside
can people,
of this general area.
Where can people find out more about you?
Well, you can go to I have a Reverb Nation page, which if you go to denbrinsonmusic.com, it will go to that page. And eventually I have a website. And
What's that?
well, it's denbrinsonmusic.com, but right now I'm using Reverb Nation as my
Okay,
my
great.
site. So
Great.
yeah.
Well, you think you can play us a couple tunes off the new CD, and then we can close out the show?
Yeah, I'll
Sound
play
good?
a song that is gaining. That's probably one of my more popular ones coming off of it. So.
Oh, can you play? What's that one I like? Wide Right Turns. I love that song.
And I have to give a
Excellent
shout out
song.
to Insane Wayne for.
Yay, Wayne. Oh, by the way, yeah. I mean, you've got a bunch of people on here. Jackie, Wayne, Joe Stinson.
I wrote that song and took it over to Wayne's house, and Wayne said, "Well, that song's okay, but I think you need to speed it up a little bit and do it like this." And I did, and it worked. So
Woo.
Here it is.
Yay, Wayne.
I'm gonna do two songs. I'm gonna do one song that when we talk about influences, and I know sometimes this person doesn't get the credit that he deserves, but I'm a huge Jimmy Buffett fan. So I'm gonna do a song that I wrote that's kind of got more of his influence on it, and then I'll do Wide Right Turns to close it out. Me and some friends needed a vacation, so we hopped in the truck and took off down the road. Hula girl on the dash is dancing to the radio station as we sang along to a familiar Jimmy tune. They were black-hearted pirates with swords in their teeth, a captain and a kid, island girls swaying to the rumba beats as we went sailing off of the grid. I woke up in a puddle of salty water, 3/4 pants, a t-shirt and no shoes, rings on my fingers, a tan all over my body, braids in my hair, and a tequila worm tattoo. They were black-hearted pirates with swords in their teeth, captain and a kid, island girls swaying to the rumba beats as we went sailing off of the grid. When I got home from that great adventure, I didn't want reality to set in. Well, I was held captive by the merciless Jose Cuervo, and my body ached, and I was paying for my sins. They were black-hearted pirates with swords in their teeth, a captain and a kid, island girls swaying to the rumba beats as we went sailing off of the grid. And I woke up in salty water, no t-shirt and no shoes, rings on my fingers and braids in my hair, and a tequila worm tattoo. Yep. I actually have a tequila worm tattoo. I hate to admit that, but it didn't quite, that's not really how I got it. It was more, I got it in Fayetteville, and the guy threw me in a chair. "You sure you want this?" I said, "Yes, sir." So I'm going to do a song that I wrote. I wrote this song, my uncle, you know I grew up in the South because I have an Uncle Bubba who was a truck driver. And I wrote this song loosely about him, not completely, but I embellished it a little bit. His handle was Tobacco Worm on the CB radio, so... And I use that in the second verse. Which 20 partner, my marker 95. County Mounties on the left, two Smokies on the right. Mile after mile, sleeping in a bunk, sent 3 kids to college on the wheels of this truck. Wheels of this truck. 10 for tobacco worm, what's your 99? Loading up in shaky town in the middle of the night. Through the flatlands in Texas and the Tennessee hills, a bird dog on the dash, and a pocket full of pills. Pocket full of pills. Pedal to the metal, do rubber to burn, break on one night on the radio, making wide right turns, wide right turns. Like at your back door, westbound I-10, never see my face again. I'm running down to Mexico, pushing this old truck, 'cause I got in too deep. And I'm sorry about my luck, sorry about my love. Pedal to the metal, go rub and burn, break a one night on the radio, making wide right turns, wide right turns. Choppers in the air and I got that hammer down. 3 miles to the border, Tijuana town. Those lights are shining bright and freedom's within reach, 'cause it's hard to love a man who don't practice what he preached. Practice what he preached. With the pedal to the metal, rub and burn, break a one night on the radio, wide right turn, wide right turn. Pedal to the metal, go rub and burn, break a one night on the radio, wide right turn, wide right turn.
Hey, Dennis, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show tonight. And I'd also like to say that I think there's going to come a day, and I don't know if you guys here agree with me or not, but I think there's going to come a day where we're going to be saying, we knew Dennis when. Because I think you're that good. You know, I really do. I think there's going to come a time where we're all just standing around watching you just fly to the stars. So...
well, if that happened, I really... that would, you know, that would be special, I guess. I can think of probably 20 people in this town that deserve it more than I do, but or more than that, really. But just off the top of my head, I mean, people, you know, this business is just really, really tough, and I never really, it wasn't something I went into for that reason. Really didn't even start writing songs and playing for that reason. So, you know, if it happens, it happens. That'd be great. I'll make sure that I share the love with everybody. I'll, you know, but, you know, I'm not looking for that. I just want to, really it's just about making good music and being respected among your peers, I think, is probably the best thing that can happen for me anyway.
Yeah, so. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, and you are certainly well respected. And one of the things that you do is you really reach out a hand to people who are just starting out and help pull them up, and you keep them inspired, which I think is a wonderful thing. You know, there are a lot of people that wouldn't do that. So I love that you do that.
It just happened to me not too long ago, so
see?
Why not, you know?
Yeah, see, people talk about karma, but karma's a good thing sometimes.
That's right. That's right.
Karma's only a bitch if you are. I can say that. It's the internet. So thank you so much for coming. Is there anything else you'd like to say for us?
I just want to say thanks, Mary, for having me on, and Ron, and locals, and everybody who is here, and my wife, and my kids, and my mom, who had to listen to me play. You know, I love this bar 5,000 times when I couldn't really play anything. But you know, I appreciate everybody, you know, kind of supporting me and being a part of it. So.
Well, thanks so much, Dennis. I appreciate your being here. It's been a great interview, and it's been wonderful getting the opportunity to listen to you play. Thank you so much to our online audience. Joe Stinson's on there, Craig Grant, Insane Wayne, Jackie's on there. There's a bunch of people in the room right now, so thanks a lot for being there. And this weekend at Locals, we've got the M80s playing Friday night. They start at 9. That's the 19th. And then Saturday on the 20th, we've got Chillin' Dixie. So come on down and say hello to us. Thanks a lot for being with us, folks. And we'll see you next week where our guest will be the Pleasantries. Thanks a lot and goodbye.